Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for North Dakota Today. I'm Lisa Bedell here with Chris Berg.
Just
last
had
week,
to rub it in this morning, didn't you?
I know.
Bedell?
He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, it's Monday.
No,
Monday.
I mean, the fact that you're wearing purple after the Vikes are 0-3.
Oh, you're a little sad on that, too.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. 0-3? What did they spend, like $86 million on Kirk Cousins? Whatever it was, it's about that much more than what you make, but it was still a lot of money, right?
I'm performing. I'm doing a little bit better than Cousins. Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of football yesterday, but...
I didn't watch a ton either, but I mean, the Eagles, Carson Wentz, they tied. Like,
yeah, I was going to say, I read about that this morning,
Bengals,
too, because I've been following him, and we've said all along that he's playing in a tough city, and they are not being nice to him these days. So every time I read something, I'm like, oh, Carson.
I know, it's me too.
I think, it's still early. He can turn things around. But yeah, sorry to remind you of the...
Now you're going to show up with a cheesehead tomorrow? They're 3-0.
Maybe. No, I wouldn't do that. That'd be a dangerous move in this neck of the woods. My goodness.
We have to start there because, as you know, this week, finally on Saturday, we got the big Bison game. It'll be
so
right here in Valley. Me too. It's going to be so nice to see those guys and just to, hear that entrance music, and we're still going to lobby the Missouri Valley Conference to just figure out the rest of the year.
Thunderstruck. Someone played that in one of my cycle bar classes this weekend, and I was like, yes, I am ready for some Bison football. For sure, in the pregame show.
Yes.
And the coaches show. All that good stuff. And I know we're talking about some of the best of the best, old Bison games that we're going to be airing. That'll be fun, too. But this weekend's definitely the game to be watching. I'm still kind of deciding if I'm going to go the game or not go the game. But you can watch the game at home. Home gate, like we talked about, with the T-shirts and all of that gear. And I know some people who are planning some fun parties and getting their menu together. So it'll be just like
it's going to be a
the old
fun
times.
Weekend. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about football, did you hear about this Joe Montana story?
Briefly, what, like his
it's
grandson?
Kind of crazy. Yeah, apparently someone broke into their house and tried to steal their grandchild. So I'm not sure. I think we're giving most of the credit to Joe Montana, but it might have actually been his wife who tackled. It was a woman who broke in apparently Saturday afternoon into the home, and it's bizarre. The suspect was confronted by Montana and his wife. They fought. From what I'm reading, Joe Montana's wife is the one who pried the child out of the arms of this woman, and then police were able to, chase her down and arrest her. I mean, there's got to be more to this story, but this is bizarre, right?
So were their houses in Malibu or something like that? Or
yes.
Oh my God!
Yep.
So someone just rolled up from the beach.
9-month-old grandchild. Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
I was like, the headlines that when I, got up this morning, Joe Montana thwarted a kidnapping. I'm like, what the heck? Crazy. So, I mean, we're expecting to hear more information on exactly what happened there, but that's one of those kind of scary, crazy stories.
I mean, I hate to say it, but you keep talking to people that, I've got a lot of friends and family in LA, and it's a different world than what it was even 5-10 years ago. And it's just so sad to hear that someone just rolls up on a Malibu home and like, oh, I think I'll just walk in here and
take this baby.
Did they know where the kid? That's freakish to me.
More sports happening. I would like to go. I'm not like a big tennis fan, but I feel like it's like a social, kind of like going to, the Kentucky Derby. The French Open tennis tournament is underway in Paris. 4 months later, there was a bit of delay like everyone else. Top stars will be playing, but in front of just 1,000 spectators a day. Officials are limiting the crowd size, of course, to prevent the spread of COVID. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting because you think about it. I mean, Paris is kind of, not necessarily where we are from a weather standpoint, but it's going to be much different than what they're typically used to on that clay, and it's going to be interesting to watch. Yeah.
Sometimes when they change things up, like the athletes hate it, but it's kind of fun for us to see
because they don't know what's
going
on.
They're not going to, right? But it'll make it more interesting for us. How about this? Bringing it back to athletes here at home. I'm always amazed by people who do the Ironman. Or I one time did a story on an Iron Woman. Incredible. That's where they have to, swim a bunch, bike a bunch, and then still run a full marathon. Well, Thomas Gonzer of Fargo ran his own Ironman, which I think would be even harder just to keep going.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm just going to take a break. No one else is doing this. Anyway, he was already training to do an Ironman, and then of course it got canceled. And he was like, no way, I already did, all of this training. So he did it himself here in Fargo. There's Hornbachers behind him. So this is what he did: 2.4 mile swim, 112 miles on a bike, and then a full 26.2 mile marathon.
Wow.
He was going for 13 and a half hours.
What?
Yeah, to do all of that, it took him 13 and a half hours. Incredible. That's where I say, I would want to just quit. It's like running. I run a lot of, half marathons, and when I'm not running with people, I'm like, I'll just walk a little bit.
Wow.
When you're with other people.
Yeah. He must have had an amazing playlist.
Several playlists. Can you imagine? And he said he gave a lot of credit to his wife for getting friends and family to, support him along the way.
Good for him.
He definitely needed that. So that's a very cool story.
He looked pretty good too when he crossed the finish line. He didn't seem like he was that exhausted and okay.
I know, and we had a crew interview him, and I thought he looked great too. So he was talking, it was great. He sounded maybe a little hoarse. The weather was probably, rainy and cool. Incredible. I'd be in bed. Sorry, you're going to have to talk to me. My feet are going to be up. They're blistered.
Good for him.
We talked about this last weekend. Did you go out and see any fall colors
I
this
was
weekend?
going to, and then it's honestly, if you asked me, hey, what'd you do this weekend? I couldn't even tell you. That's how ridiculous
You just
it was.
blinked and it was over.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed on my Facebook feed a lot of people did take advantage of the fall colors. This was something that a picture someone sent into our newsroom. This was from Tiffany Qualley from near Comstock, Minnesota. I was trying to get a video that Julie Garden Robinson had. She had taken a video in Itasca Park. It was just amazing. Maplewood State Park, I did see a lot of incredible pictures as well. So I didn't, grab a lot of them, but let's look at that color calendar map. I know right now they're saying, look at that. If you head up into northern Minnesota right now is the perfect time. All the colors are amazing. When I looked at Facebook, I was like, oh man, I should have gone out.
Me too.
I guess if you stayed in your car, because as far as hiking, it was kind of...
That's true.
It was kind of rainy and cool. And
even just driving around town, you're like, wow, the colors are starting to pop. And
right.
Did I see... Is it going to get cold this weekend?
Yes, and it is. Well, it's going to be October on Thursday, right? And we're going to start seeing 30s overnights. So, yeah, definitely, we were spoiled with those nice warm weather days last week, but cooler. Not like frigid, but cooler.
30s, though?
Overnights, some high
All
30s.
right.
I know.
All right.
I guess we're getting ready for that. I don't know.
Wow.
Hey, you know who I didn't grab my picture, but I did do a couple parties in events this weekend. I ran into the Bush Latte guy at one of the restaurants. Have you watched him? He's like a YouTube sensation from Fargo. He's got like a billion, maybe not a billion, but like 100,000 or I don't know what his viral numbers are, but he's on YouTube and he's drinks Bush Light and. No,
that's all he does?
That was the highlight of my weekend. I met the Bush Latte guy. I think I have a picture somewhere on my phone. And I will, Chris, I need to send you these links. He's a big deal.
So what does he do? He just grabs a beer?
He talks about his love of Bush Latte. It was just Bush beer, and now it's Bush Latte cans. And he does I don't know, it's hard to explain. He's very entertaining, very funny, and he's gone viral. He's got a huge following. So it's one of those mindless viewing, but he's funny.
It's amazing when you look at some people's YouTube channels and you're like, wait, these people have how many people that subscribe and they do what?
I should have had that gig. I like beer as much as the next gal. Anyway, that was cool. That was the highlight of my weekend, I guess.
Wow.
So I'll get you some links. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I want to see some of his stuff.
Okay, we already talked about Bison football, but we're going to be talking about getting that home gating menu
these are
all
good.
set. So stay with us. That's next here on North Dakota Today.